guys, morning again. This morning I'm in Paramount, and you know what I decided? Look, let me do a video today. Today's video is going to be a bit controversial because there have been some discussions I've been having with some of my tactical colleagues, and one of the issues that we were discussing was competition shooting, and does it translate to tactical shooting? And boy, that discussion got heated, because some of my colleagues, or friends, I should say, they do competition shooting, which I have no problem with. Competition shooting is something that helps develop your skills, and it makes you competent, and it gives you confidence. You know what I mean? So yeah, I have no problem with it. But then the main argument was that does it scar you and prevent you from being an efficient tactician? And this is where the conversation got very heated. And I'm saying I have no problem with competition shooting, but in my opinion, some of the aspects of competition shooting could be scarring. It could cause a training scar, it can leave a training scar. And in layman's terms, a training scar is trained to do a particular thing or a particular skill that really isn't the correct thing in relation to another application. And because you practice it for so long, it becomes second nature to you. So that when posed in this different situation, different scenario, you revert to your training naturally, which may not be the most optimum thing to do, and it could put you in a disadvantage or in a bad situation. Yeah. So with competition shooting, there are some things that really do translate to effective firearm handling and effective gun handling. And I could break down some of these skills that would translate. For example, the draw from the holster. Now in competition shooting, you rarely see persons draw from the concealed carry position, but however, they'll draw from the outside the waistband. And you're into law enforcement, you're into military, that application works perfectly well, depending on the type of holster. Now granted that some law enforcement or military holsters may be different to a competition holster, but it can be translated in one into the next. However, when it comes to concealed carry, there's a totally different ballgame. Now, if you practice drawing from the outside the waistband all the time, and you're not into military and law enforcement, if you're not getting the same amount of reps from a concealed carry position, then automatically you can see there's some conflict right there. Good? Because the brain can only process so much information at once. And when it's time to respond, the brain is going to do what it's naturally accustomed doing. And we have to understand that. So when it comes to military law enforcement tactician drawing from the outside the waistband and competition shooter, no problem. When it comes to the concealed carry holder, then we're talking a totally different aspect that could cause a training scar. Reloads. Hands down, reloads that could translate smoothly over from competition shooting into tactical application. Of course, I've seen it happen before, persons doing some really quick reloads, and I mean, that's the kind of efficiency that we're really looking for, that we want. Let's talk about shooting from behind cover. Now, in the competition world, I've seen so many different variations of shooting from behind cover, where the shooter would reveal, if not half of the person, sometimes the whole person, while shooting from behind cover. And that is a really bad training scar. Because in a practical application or in a real life scenario, if you were to use those techniques or those tactics, you would give yourself you'd put yourself in a very bad place. And if you do it repeatedly or you do it long enough, then you're really going to scar yourself. And as a tactician, some tactics are very, very important, especially when it comes down to your individual tactics. And if you train yourself with bad individual tactics, it's going to affect your team tactics. So you're into military and law enforcement, especially tactical application, you need to be mindful of that and make sure that there's a separation between the two. Because if you translate your competition tactics in relation to shooting from behind cover and other aspects into your tactical world, then you could compromise yourself and you could compromise your team. So you need to take that into consideration as well. Yeah. there are a lot of other aspects that we touch on. So one of the negatives with competition shooting, is that the cost of training, is so much. It's so much money that the prices don't equate to the amount of effort and resources that go into the training. So it's not comparable. So let me give you an example. Let's say I'm a cricketer and I purchase bat, balls, cricket pads, cricket equipment, and my intention is to be a professional cricketer. That equipment is going to last me quite some time. And if I am good, if I train hard enough and I become very good, I can make the money that I spend in equipment 10 times over, 1,000,000 times over. But in competition shooting, I purchase a firearm, I purchase all the accessories that go along with it, and because these things are very expensive, it can run me close to $100,000, depending on exactly what I buy, how much weapons I buy, and accessories along with it. And then we're talking about consistent training because it's a skill. And by the time I would have been proficient enough to compete at a high level, my cost of training already probably went up into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. But then the prize that I get for each competition that I will take part in doesn't even cover half the cost of the money I would have invested. So until that aspect becomes financially viable, it seems as though competition shooting you really have to love it. You have to love it. You have to love putting the resources behind it, and in some instances for no real reward except peace of mind or just happiness. So again, it's comparable opposed to tactical training and specific type training. If you train tactically, then you're very specific with what you do on your training. You use the resources carefully and sparingly. You train meaningful. You do meaningful training. So that means that instead of pushing off 1,000 rounds, you might do something specific and just use 500 rounds. So it becomes cost effective as well. So that's why I personally believe in tactical training. Again, competition shooting has its place, and I have no issues with it. But when it comes to comparing the two, I prefer tactical training, because it's functional. It's something you can adapt to what you need to do. It's real life, and this is really why, at least in this environment, this is really why you want to be proficient in what you do, especially in relation to your personal safety, which is what we are about. We at Hubris are about personal safety. Right? So again, our training programs are very cost effective. We do meaningful training. We cut out all the noise. We cut out all the rhetoric, and we treat with specific hardcore type training in relation to what is required of you, what you're required to do to ensure your safety and the safety of your family. Also, our combat pistol courses are open for registration. All you need to do is go to our website and look at the registration page and just register, and we're going to contact you and we're going to have a discussion based on what your needs are, and then we're going to take it from there. Tell me what you think. Tell me, does competition shooting translate into tactical shooting? Give me some pointers. If you disagree with what I'm saying, feel free to comment. Let's have a healthy discussion on it and see where it goes. In a matter of fact, competition shooting has taken off so much that even military applications, they try to use it in military application right now. They're trying to introduce it to military application. I don't know how I feel about it. I guess it can be done. It can be done because, like I said, there are some aspects that could translate over into military application. So if it could be done effectively without compromising safety and effectiveness, then sure, why not? Anything to be at an advantage is always a good day. So yeah, that's it for me from today. This is Barry from Hubris Strategic and Hubris Tactical saying stay safe and keep training. Take it easy, guys.
On the beat.